Two humorous nurses would like to acknowledge the true custodians of the land in which we record our podcast, the Yorta Yorta people.
We pay our respects to elders past and present and extend our respects to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders listening today. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Two humorous nurses with Kelly and Alisha.
The podcast that arrives late, takes long breaks and doesn't change the toilet roll. We've all worked with it.
Yeah. And the ones that put the toilet roll on backwards.
Or that just
Sarah.
sit it on top.
Oh, God. Welcome to Two Humorous Nurses, where we plan to bring you funny, informal, conversational chats about all things nursing.
Hello, 2023.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
What the actual fuck?
How are we here?
How's my kid nearly 2?
My kid's nearly 10.
Mate.
A decade of parenting. Ugh.
I feel like I've had a great break from this though. Like
Me too.
I
2
feel
months.
Like mentally, I've really needed it, and I feel so much clearer now.
Same. And it's funny, like we hit Christmas and neither of us said anything about the podcast.
Nope.
And then we hit New Year's. We even spent New Year's together.
We kind of ignored it.
Didn't talk about it.
Didn't
First
talk about
week of January, still nothing. Second week of January, no. Third week of January, we should get together. Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that.
Yeah.
Just didn't want to reach out about it. I don't know. It wasn't procrastination.
Do you know what else was nice?
What?
Like having a little break from
Each other?
yeah, but I'm not just
In a good way.
not in a bad way. Like literally, I think we spent so much time together last year that it was so nice to just. I rarely saw anyone in our friend group. I like hibernated. I feel like I've come into 2020 like a new woman.
2023, you mean?
Mate, what just happened? 2023.
A new woman with 3 years less memory.
Yeah. Well, it's the pandemic for you, isn't it? Just wipe that shit out. I feel like happy and calm and content.
Yeah.
And I'm like fucking ready for it.
That's so good. Do you know, it's funny, even like I've been at work so much recently, and then the other day it just occurred to me that you work in the same building and we could have had lunch together all these
Every
times.
day,
And I'm like, "Whoa."
I have
but I
staff
think it
now
has
to
been
see lunch with it.
Yeah. I just eat lunch at my desk like an idiot.
I do not do that.
But no, I feel like it's weird in a weird way. Like you and I spend so much time together, and I consider you like one of my closest friends. And then we've had this like big long break. We saw each other for New Year's. I think and like Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And that was basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, I don't think we've done
We had
anything
coffee
else
yesterday
really.
and then we'll just...
Oh, there was the pool once in there too.
Oh, yeah, once.
But that was very brief because there was a storm and we
thunderstorm.
had to get out of the
You
pool.
arrived literally as it was raining.
Yeah.
There was so much lightning around
Yeah.
us and it was like, it's a bit cold, better go.
Yeah, I think it was really... I mean, not good to have a break, but good to have a break.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think we're on the same page.
Do you have any like updates from the time away? Is anything like, I feel like nothing really has happened for me.
No, I mean, for me, it's like intentions for things to change and intentions like Mick and I want to have a baby. It's so funny. Like we want to have another kid, but it was like last year we were like, no, because I'd hurt my knee and we wanted to take time. And then suddenly my knee was feeling a bit better and Michael's like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to be 40 next year. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I'm feeling all this pressure that we have to have another baby quickly. Like, I'm like, he
does realise that men can have 40. Men can have babies till they're 70.
You know, since we had Ollie, he's really been confronted with his mortality.
Oh, yeah.
And then Shane Warne died. So then he was like, oh, my God, if Shane Warne can die, anyone can die. So now he's all about like, you know, although Shane Warne lived his life 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, he probably...
In every way, I'd say. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to
I
explain
get it. I know, I get it.
So I think
like,
he is very conscious.
Keen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I found out that my mum went into menopause at 38. So, and so did my Olma. So I'm like, do I need to go and freeze my eggs? This was not something that I ever considered.
No.
That would ever affect me.
Just have a baby.
Then I'm like, that solves that problem. But yeah.
This year is like the first year that I've thought that like perimenopause could start kicking in.
Oh my God.
And I don't want to dry vagina.
I was going to
like.
You say that. I had to take estradiol tablets, Vagifem.
Yeah.
It's a terrible name for a drug. Whoever the fuck did that, I hate you.
A man. 100% a man.
Yeah. So anyway, taking those pessary tablets, didn't even know they were a thing, so thank you. And they apparently make you really dry. So I don't know that I ever felt any different. That, and I was like 6 weeks postpartum, so there wasn't anything happening.
Keep you updated on that. But yeah, we had a lovely Christmas and New Year's was fun. Didn't make it to New Year, not to midnight.
No, best New Year's ever. All the kids played under the sprinklers and everybody was in bed by 11 o'clock.
I know, you were like, Mick wants to have everybody over, but he doesn't want anyone to stay late. So
that was a joke.
It'll start at 4. I was like, yeah, well, there's no way we're making it to midnight if we get there at 4, mate.
Yeah.
And I was like, is Mick cooking his meat? That's what we want. That's all anyone goes for.
Well, and he did.
Is Mick's meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. We've got some questions from listeners.
I actually forgot all about that.
Some very fun questions, right? I put a question box out a few weeks ago and then we did one yesterday. Alisha did one yesterday and I've got some good ones. And Alisha never checks them.
Barely.
So I've got them all and I'm just going to run through and ask them. There's actually some like...
I hate it when you put me on the spot.
Mate, they're super interesting. So let's start with the first one, which is very simple. How's the toilet training going?
Oh.
It's Chloe and she said, we've started and oh my God, the stress.
Yeah, I think I put a lot more into it than necessary and I think I went...
I mean, that's you in general.
Of course.
Hard
and of
fast.
course, hard and fast. We went the 3-day rule and I think I overthought it so much and I put so much pressure on it that the first 2 days went really well and when I say really well, like there was still so many accidents, but it got to the point where she could tell when it was happening and she would tell me. And then on day 3, which apparently it's like at the end of day 3, it's all supposed to click and then it's supposed to happen, right? Well, the morning of day 3, she got up and she was like, wee. And I'm like, okay. She did a wee in the toilet and I was like, oh my God, this is going to happen. We've done it.
You're like, yes.
I'm like, we've done it. This is it. And then it totally nosedived. She refused to go on the toilet. The incentives weren't working and I was bribing her with sultanas the whole time. Like every time she sat on the toilet, I'd give her a sultana. That positive reinforcement. Was it operant conditioning? Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, sultanas wouldn't work for me.
Well, they work for her because they're like a drug for toddlers. And bubbles. I'd like blow bubbles while she's sitting on the toilet. Nah, she was fucking done. She was just daggering me. And then because constantly I was like, you tell mum if you need to go toilet. And she would just like put her hand up as if to be like, shut the fuck up. I'm done. I'm not doing this shit. And it was over. It was dead over. And then I think, I'm a classic first time mum because then I got into a mum's forum. Fuck, I'm so humiliated for saying this. I got into a mum's forum and I wrote like this big spiel about how
and then
toilet training was a miserable failure.
And I feel to death.
No. Well, kind of.
Because they would have been like, oh, she's not even 2. She's too young.
A lot
what are
of
you
that.
Trying?
But for me, I look back at history and like our generation are toilet training a year and a half later than we were toilet trained on average.
Disposable nappies.
Because of disposable nappies, right? And because it reduces the sensation and whatever else. So I was like, Ollie is smart. She can learn it. Like she will be able to do this, which I think it maybe if I hadn't put so much pressure on it, she would have done it. But anyway, I wrote in this mum's group, like, this is what's happening. And everyone was like, you've done it too soon, blah, 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 blah. And then one mum was like, this is the whole point of parenting. Like, you haven't done anything wrong. Like, don't think. And that was the biggest thing. I was like, have I made a mistake? Have I ruined our chances at toilet training again? Like, catastrophizing. And then this one mum, I don't even know what her name was, but she was just like, it's okay. She's like, this is parenting. Like, you make a mistake, you just pick it all up and you try again another time. She's like, it's okay. You haven't done anything wrong. This is nice being a mum. And I was like, burst into tears. And I was like, I just needed permission to stop. Like, I just needed permission to stop because I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
And anyway, it was a ride.
Yeah.
But now, you know what she's doing? She'll like go nappy off time and she'll look down, wee. And then maybe 3 seconds later, a wee will come. And I'm like, does that mean she's ready? Like, I'm going through this whole thing now. Like, do we try again? Like, it's so stressful.
Nah, just wait.
I know. And that's like, I'm like, now we just kind of let her have nappy off time, offer her the potty if she wants it. Like, I'm a lot more relaxed about it now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
also,
it'll come.
There's no kids in year 1 in nappies.
No.
You'll be right.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like she'll just pick it up.
Right. Do you want a thought-provoking hard question, or another simple question?
Hit me. I don't care what it is.
Okay. Have you ever felt imposter syndrome as a nurse, and how do you deal with it? I want to start this one.
Okay.
Firstly, I feel like imposter syndrome is
a daily occurrence.
No, I want to switch it around.
Okay.
I think it's a dumb made up thing to make women feel comfortable in being uncomfortable. Right? We're just like, it's just our imposter syndrome. We need to fucking stop. Everyone who has gotten a job got the job for a reason, right? And now that I have done some recruiting, I'm like talking my people up that I have employed. And I'm like, why? I want you here.
Yeah.
Why are you nervous? Like, why do you second guess everything? I didn't second guess you when I employed you. Like, why is that? Why do we keep putting these things on us that, like, and I've had to deal with that this year as well, like going into that last year into the num position, like, well, who else was going to do it?
Yeah.
Other than me.
Yeah.
You know, like, of course I earned that spot there,
Yeah,
did the hard yards, and then I got the job and did even more hard yards. But
I feel like imposter syndrome, for me, it's a beneficial kind of label because I can identify that and then learn and grow and move on from it.
yeah.
Like for me, and I agree with you, like if I'm feeling imposter syndrome about something, I will stop myself and be like, that's imposter syndrome, and then remind myself of all of the reasons why I am capable.
Because I guarantee you put a man in that job, they probably don't even know what they're doing, but they don't sit there having imposter syndrome. They sit there like the, privileged white guy that they are. And just
Jeez,
be
you
like,
are just generalising hardcore.
Oh, mate, it's not. Come on now.
Yeah,
They're just like, yeah, I deserve this $10 million job that I didn't really earn. I bet all politicians, male politicians, feel the same, and I don't think half of them necessarily deserve their jobs.
Can you remember a moment when you specifically felt like intense imposter syndrome?
To be honest, no.
Good for you.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I've ever lived my life thinking I don't deserve something. Like I feel like I work hard to do things, so therefore when I get a job or something,
it's
I'm
deserved.
Like, yeah, and I guess I have enough like awareness of myself and confidence in myself that I might feel uncomfortable, and I might think, why am I sitting in this chair? Like, do I want this job? What am I doing? But at the same time, it's not like I don't know how necessarily. I don't feel like I necessarily shouldn't be there.
I think
so.
in my career, like occasionally I have pushed myself too far out of my comfort zone for the appeal of the grass is greener, or for the appeal of, like, to me, I don't know why, but titles seem quite important. I don't know why, and so does money, which I know why. But for me, it's like, I think because, if you look back into my childhood or whatever it is, never feeling important. So then as an adult, I feel like when I have a title, that makes me feel really important.
Yeah.
Or like when my email signature says what my job is, like that gives me so much pride in a weird way. And so like if I change a job that day, I will change my email signature. Like it's that important to me in a fucked up kind of way. But when I went for that job as a clinical educator for that tertiary hospital, like that was and I was like still mentally ill at that point. And I think that really pushed me too far. Like I had so much imposter syndrome, rightly so, because I'd never done that job and I wasn't qualified to do that job. But someone saw something in me and I knew that I could do it, but I just felt so out of my depth and so anxious.
Yeah.
I was so anxious the whole time. And, I think that was probably a double-edged sword. But that was probably the moment that when I got that job, I was like, I felt like, yes, I deserve this job. I've proven to them why I should be employed in this role. But then when I actually started doing it, it just like it brought up so many fears and anxieties in me that it wasn't worth being that uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Which do you choose? A closer, more convenient job or the job you've always wanted, but it's 1.5 hours away?
Oh, I feel like I don't know.
I have travelled a lot in my nursing around Western Australia for jobs that I thought I would love.
Mm-hmm.
So I left working in Fremantle Hospital. I'd done 4 years there and I absolutely loved it. And I moved to Carnarvon because I was offered a position up there. And that's about 6 hours away from home. And I was like, do I want this? And I was sold it as like, and I was an EN at the time, not an RN. I was sold it like, you get to do like, you know, really fun stuff. Like it's a small country hospital. You'll get to do some ED and some bladder. That wasn't true. I did mostly
nursing home.
Aged care, but anyway, it's fine. But I was like, I guess I wasn't driving to and from work every day, but I think if it's a job that you've always wanted, you have to give it a go.
Yeah, I agree.
And you have to suck up that drive and just listen to us on the drive there and back every
exactly.
day. And I think you...
And it depends on your personal circumstances too, totally.
Yeah.
Like if this was me right now, I would say take the convenient job.
Yes.
But if this is me 5 years ago, I would say fucking go for it.
See, and me now with an older child who I have options of other, you know, like it doesn't quite necessarily need me around as much.
Yes.
I would choose the longer away job if the opportunity was right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's I think that's a big question. I think it depends on your lifestyle
and the cost of fuel.
Yeah. And that needs to be factored into, I think, and whether you can spend some nights in the town that job, like if you're doing a late early or something, you're not driving to you're not spending 3 hours.
Depends on the job. Yeah.
Another one is from Stephanie. She's been an RN for 5 years, feeling exhausted after every shift, burnt out. Do I leave nursing or do I need a break? Mate, you need a break.
Leave your ward or wherever you are working and find something else that you like or
if in the last 5 years you've not taken all your annual leave or you've not taken, you know, you've not looked at why are you exhausted after every shift? Is it because
do you need to go and get a blood
take
test?
Your meal breaks? Yeah. Is your iron low?
Yeah.
Do you need some vitamin D?
Or is everyone on your ward fucking exhausted? Like, is the workload astronomical?
Is your morale of staff like rock bottom? Do you need to talk to probably if your morale's rock bottom, your nurse manager's probably not great because it's usually the problem. But, you know, do you need to do something in your shift as a group to say what can we do each shift to help improve our shifts? Like, support each other to take your meal breaks, take some annual leave, like book a month off and like if you can. I don't think leaving nursing necessarily is the answer. No. If it's your passion, like you need to remember that.
Yeah, there's a reason you got into it in the first place.
And you know, 5 years in, I feel like you've done 5 years, 3 years through a pandemic. So maybe just have a look at what you need. Take a break.
Let us know how you go.
Yeah, take a break, mate, I say. And then if you need to leave nursing, maybe find a different pathway, a different specialty.
Yeah.
10-year plans.
Oh,
is there room to grow in your current hospital for you both? No, I don't think so. I think we're too big for that hospital.
I think that I'll never be exec or management because I'm a why person, not a yes person. So if someone tells me to do something, I want the rationale and I want it to be reasonable. And I'll never be a manager for that reason and I'll never be exec for that reason. And I actually think that when I get into non-clinical roles, I really, really just want to be clinical. Like sitting in education at the moment, if I've got nothing to do, which I mean I always have like paperwork shit to do, but I will like find reasons to go out to urgent care and help them. Like I want to be clinical. I love supporting and teaching but my 10-year plan is I see myself going back to anaesthetics or at least going back to theatre. And I think by the time I get back there, I'll probably be 10 years out of theatre. So I don't even know if I'll be employable anymore.
Nah, you're always employable.
Yeah.
So I don't know what my 10-year plan is. I feel like now that I'm a nurse unit manager, I see that higher management exec level at a more in depth than I ever have before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
it doesn't appeal to you anymore.
No.
Yeah. Because I remember when I first met you were I was fast tracked to director of clinical services.
Straight up there. I was like going to be the Don. I was like, yeah, matron me up. But I enjoy this middle management level. I think I enjoy it because I'm in a small unit. I still get to be clinical.
And
people
you're not
falling sick, I'm on the floor.
And you're not also so much of the meat in the sandwich as other units might be. Those right. managers, yeah.
And that's the benefit of being in a country hospital doing small unit management stuff.
Satellite unit.
Would I be a unit manager in a bigger ward? Maybe. Not in our hospital though.
Yeah. I definitely see if I'm going to grow in my career and in my nursing, it won't be at our current hospital.
No.
Yeah. So I don't see that. I don't see myself still being there in 10 years. That's for sure. I actually think we're considering moving.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if I'll be at this hospital in 10 years.
No.
Part of me hopes not because I've been there I'm coming into my 8th year now and I've never stayed this long in a job.
Me neither.
Ever.
Me neither.
I want to hit 10 years because I want to do my long service leave and you know, my kid goes to school here and we're never going to move from here. But I would like to but I don't think I'll
We're not going to do a big
years.
move, I don't think. I think we'll move locally, like close to family and stuff. But
Yeah. Back to a really simple one. What's your coffee order?
Large cappuccino. Or depending, a mug of cappuccino. But
skinny milk.
I don't get like the
milk.
jumbo. No, I'm plain Jane cappuccino.
Well, I'm a skinny latte extra short.
Or I'm a chai latte if I've had too much coffee or if I've got diarrhea or something. Or if I'm pregnant, I'll have a chai latte.
No, I'm just like coffee me up.
So if I've ordered a chai latte, I've either had diarrhea or I'm pregnant.
Why is it the caffeine or it's not the dairy obviously?
No, because I'm literally like if I have a coffee, I'll do a shit in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's the best part about a coffee.
Yeah.
Which worries me if I have a coffee on a drive and I haven't gone first.
If I've already had one that's a bit dicey, like a poo, that is not a coffee. If I've had a poo that's a bit dicey and I have a coffee, then the next one is definitely going to be questionable. So maybe I'll not have a coffee or I'll have a small.
I have one coffee a day. And lately I'm into the iced coffees and I don't really enjoy buying iced coffees because they don't make them how I like them. So I've been making them at home myself in like my, tumbler, cold tumbler and taking it to work. But I use 3 pods of coffee in the morning and then a splash of milk.
We have the Breville coffee machine. It's amazing.
I don't mind.
Highly rate.
I don't mind the pod one. I didn't buy it for myself. My dad and stepmom bought me the Nespresso, which is good. But I apologise every time I tip the coffee pods into the bin for ruining the universe. But then I use my metal straw and I feel better.
It's all about balancing the guilt. SafeStyle makes stylish and practical safety glasses that take you from the worksite to the weekend. Upgrade your PPE today with their stylish and functional range of safety glasses.
Whether you're on shift, on call, first to the scene or in study mode, SafeStyle have you covered. Available in clear UV 400, blue light blocking, transition, polarized, and prescription lenses.
We love these safety glasses for their durability and comfort and are excited to share our discount code with you all.
Use our code HUMOROUS10 at checkout for 10% off your order.
That's HUMOROUS, HUMERUS10 at checkout for 10% off.
Sarah has asked, what's your favourite body system in a head-to-toe assessment?
Like
I assume she talks about. Yeah, I assume. Really, your question's not really complete, Sarah, but anyway, we'll run with it.
Maybe probably respiratory.
For the crackle snap
I love listening to a good chest and probably because then I think respiratory. I quite like to look for some
abnormalities.
Yeah, I do. And then sometimes you find them and you think, fuck yeah, I did a good assessment.
I don't know. I don't really assess anything.
What about when you worked in urgent care?
Again.
Terrible.
I counted their rest breaks.
Educator's nightmare.
Yeah. 18.
Lies.
Chest clear, entry to bases.
Even if you didn't listen, fuck off.
No, of course I listened. I had no idea half the time what I was listening to.
Oh, my God.
No, I agree with respiratory because you can always hear the abnormalities. Although I didn't mind a good abdo percussion.
Yeah, I don't mind good abdo assessments.
Press down on the rebound, watch them fly off the bed.
Or I don't know. Yeah, I do. I don't mind assessing an acute abdomen. Different if there's nothing to find. I will say I like assessing any system if there's abnormality.
Yeah.
Nothing worse though than when you're doing a neuro assessment and someone's got like a massively dilated pupil and you shit a brick and then they're like, no, it's been like that for 10 years. Oh, you're looking at the eye? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's fucked.
They're like, it's been like that for a while.
I'll tell you this one.
Oh God.
This is terrible. I did a neuro assessment on this patient that came in and I kept like doing the pupils and then I went and got somebody else because I was very new in urgent care and I said, I don't think one of the pupils is reactive. And the person came out and checked and she goes to the patient, do you have both eyes? Oh my God. One of the eyes was a glass eye and I was like freaking out because the pupil wasn't reactive. Why didn't they tell me?
Actually, no, yeah, that's fucked.
I reckon they were just having a laugh.
They were shining a light in their glass eye. My God. Do you know, actually, just a little side story. So a few years ago now, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, my Oma had a cyst or something removed from her spine. I can't actually remember what exactly it was. Anyway, she had it done at the Royal Melbourne and she came, this is how she ended up living with
I remember
locally.
her going down there.
So she went down there. She went and used to live in Werribee. She had the surgery in Melbourne and then came to live with us for 3 weeks after her surgery. And one day, like maybe a week, she'd been with us for a week or something, and she normally gets up quite early. One day I was getting ready to go to my sister-in-law's 40th and it was like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning. I go down to where her bedroom is thinking like she must be in the shower or something. She hadn't even gotten up. And I opened the door and I was like, Oma. And she's like, yes, love. And I go and look at her and her face looked totally like she looked like she'd had a massive stroke. And I was like, stay there. I'm going to ring an ambulance. She's like, what for? And I'm like, I'm worried that you've had a stroke. Like, can you lift both of your arms for me? And both her arms went up. And she's like, what? Why are you worried I've had a stroke? And she's like, my back's really sore. I didn't want to get up. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, and she goes, why do you think I've had a stroke? And I was like, your face. Like, and she's like, I just haven't got my teeth in.
Oh. Can you imagine if the ambulance had a come?
Oh, so funny. I'm like, so why aren't you out of bed? Like, so funny. Anyways, she'd overdone it. She went for a big walk the day before.
This is another hard-hitting question. Use the ward staff toilet or walk to another one?
To do a shit?
Well, I would share my pee anyway.
So at the Royal Children's, there's literally, so their toilet is in their tea room, and there's literally a sign on the toilet that's like, if you need to do number two, you use the toilet at the end of the corridor. Like there's like a toilet before you get into the ward, so there's like absolutely no number twos in the tea room toilet. But I will shit anywhere because my poos are usually pretty quick.
Same.
But yeah, I'll just.
So our toilet in our department is in the same toilet as the patients.
Really?
And it's also not at all soundproof. So with my questionable bowels, I have to contemplate whether it's worth going there or going outside to the one just outside the door, because
you've got those great toilets if you go down the community house building. Those ones, use those ones. There's like a disabled one.
I know. Quite a big one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just think do whatever you want. Who cares? Like, own it. Everyone has bodily functions.
I'll tell you though,
nurses, for God's sake.
When I work in education, I have to go past the Allied Health Educator office, and I walk past his office and then go to the toilet. And sometimes, you sit on your phone and stuff if you're doing a poo. Have a look at what's going on, and then sometimes you get a bit distracted, so you take a bit longer than usual. And then I feel like I'm doing the walk of shame walking back past his office because I'm like, he knows how long I've been in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Sibsy's sent us a couple of questions. What's your go-to lame nursing joke you crack to patients? We all have that one
Well, it's not a
line.
joke, but I'll always say, oh, you get that on the big jobs. That's my way of getting out of anything. Oh,
Whenever I put a canner in, I'm like, sharp scratch. And I've got a patient every time I go, he's like, yep, ready? I'm ready. Sharp scratch. Sharp scratch.
That's not a joke though.
No. I always say, can you please use your walker or your walking stick because don't fall in here. There's too much paperwork.
Oh, you're so funny.
Or you don't fall till you get to out of the car park. Or if people are worried, I'm like, you're not going to die today. There's way too much paperwork to do
I'll always
with
say,
that.
no, my patients don't die, thanks.
Too much paperwork.
They do, but I don't tell them that.
Yeah.
I think I say something as well like, oh, how you going? Oh, probably not real good, hey, since you're in hospital. Been better? Yeah. Can't be too good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those are
It's
mine.
the worst.
Honestly, the small talk kills me.
I know.
Like,
do a lot of small
sorry,
talk.
I think one of my buzzers is
Oh,
going.
gotta go.
Soz.
If you could only do one nursing skill for the rest of your career, what would it be?
Catheterizing.
Oh.
You look very surprised by that answer. How satisfying. I just be eternally satisfied.
A bit of genitalia.
I mean,
in your
not.
day?
I would do female catheterization because catheterizing men is
Simple.
complicated. I mean, yeah, but sometimes it
It's all
depends
about
on
the angle of the dangle. It's like pulling a lever.
I suppose anatomy for everyone it complicates it if they've got a
It's
difficult
way
anatomy.
more rewarding to catheterize a female though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause you'd be
Especially
like,
if 6 people
whoop,
before you couldn't get it in.
Yeah, suckers. For me, it would be like I love accessing ports and stuff like that. Ports, cannulas.
Yeah, actually, I could just put
anything where I
cannulas in
just
all day.
jab something in
I love
someone.
cannulating.
Yeah.
There's nothing else like, I mean, yeah, we do some fun stuff, but I couldn't be a phlebotomist. I couldn't just take blood all day.
And then when you go to put a cannula in someone, they're like, yeah, they have no trouble getting blood from there. You're like, putting a cannula in is way more difficult than getting blood. Oh,
And the vein has to be straight.
yeah. 2023 plans and goals.
To get pregnant. That's probably it.
To not get pregnant.
Oh, we're going on a holiday.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Tell us about your holiday.
I'm like totally jumping out of like my comfort zone.
I'm so proud of you for this.
Yeah, I'm going on a group trip to Bali with Leah from Off the Clock Nurse Instagram. She's doing a group trip to Bali. I just said that in September, and I was like, I'm in, because all those American ones do the trips like so far away from Australia. Like they go to Iceland and Italy and like the Caribbean, and I'm like, well, that's too far for me to go. Yeah. And then she's like, we're going to go to Bali. And I was like, man, it's 6 hours away. I'm down.
Right,
Jetstar can afterpay. I'm in.
Perfect.
So, so I'm excited for that. And I accidentally booked my return flight the day after the trip finished because I thought it was Friday to Friday.
Oh, right.
So
You get an extra day on your own.
yeah, well, I looked at how much it would cost to change my flights because Jetstar versus how much an extra night in the hotel would be, and it was cheaper to stay an extra night in the hotel. So I was like, I'll just stay an extra night.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So I'm super excited about that. But my like word for the year is adventure.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty keen to like do some extra things, like with Amelia and Cam, just taking a weekend here or there, and like I really want to go to Ballarat and do the gold mining stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
Amelia's super keen to go to Sydney. She wants to see the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. So, yeah, we'll try and do a weekend over there, whether it's just a girls' weekend with like Cam's mum and me and her.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Because we did that a few years ago to Hobart and it was so fun.
We're going to Marimbula,
Yeah.
which, I mean, seems pretty basic, but compared to Bali. But we have not been on a holiday since 2016, and we've never actually been on a family holiday either.
Yeah.
So
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm just excited. We're actually going for 10 nights, which I think is like extravagant.
That is, but that's fun.
I know.
though.
I feel like we're actually going to be able to relax.
Yes.
It's not like you spend a full day driving there, and then you unpack the next day. You're kind of relaxing, and then you get 3 days to be busy, and then you got to kind of pack up and go.
And with 10 nights, there's enough time to like have a day where you don't leave the house and not feel guilty about it.
And then I also think it's like enough for us to even travel in the middle there, like, you know, go up to Tathra or like, do some other kind of fun things that maybe require that little bit of travel as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be really good. Ollie's never seen the beach.
Oh,
how sad.
She's going to love it. She's such a water baby.
I know, she really is.
She's going to love it.
Oh, yeah, we're starting swimming lessons, all the real basic mum things at the moment. Yeah. But I feel like for me, you know, when you said about this year being about adventure for you, Christmas really put things into perspective for me. Like, my family, we never had any like special Christmas traditions. There was never really anything special about Christmas other than presents and food. Yeah. Right. And so it really resonated with me, like when you said that you've kind of got a theme for this year, and with Christmas for me, I was like, I have to think about what I want Christmas to be like for my children and for my family, and start putting those things in now. Yeah. Like, if anyone listening has awesome like Christmas memories, can you like chuck them in our inbox? Because I really want to, you know, everybody talks about how special Christmas is, but for me it never really was growing up. Like, I lived split family and like, you know, it was never that special. So I really want to find ways to make that my family Christmas special, and for Ollie to grow up and look back and go, God, my mum like did so much to make Christmas special for us, and like really have great memories of Christmas.
Well, I think that's why I refuse to travel at Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Not travel as in travel on a holiday, but travel on Christmas Day, because I'm from a split family as well, and so Christmas Day was always spent trying to go between dad, mum, grandparents, whatever. And some days I've done hundreds of kilometres because mum would go away and I'd spend Christmas Eve at my dad's with my brothers, and then Christmas morning I'd have to drive to wherever mum was, which could be a couple hundred Ks away. Yeah. And I think even as an adult I still did that. And then when Amelia was born, I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. Nope. So in Perth it was still a bit difficult because I still needed to, you know, drive to you should drive to your parents' house. Like, I think, you know, that's fine. But here in you know, Cam's parents live in the same town as us. They're literally like walking distance away. So for me, like, they walk around in the morning, they have breakfast with us. We always do pancakes. Yeah. And then like Amelia's already opened her presents, that's fine. And then, you know, Cam goes back to bed, I clean up, Amelia plays with her toys, and then we go round to their place and we have lunch and we spend the whole afternoon. I have a nap after we've eaten. Yeah. They swim in the pool, like we do dinner, we come home, right? There's for me and I've always said to them, if you want to go to Melbourne to be with like Cam's brother for the day, that's fine. We aren't coming though. Yeah. Like, we'll do it before Christmas, after Christmas, but Christmas Day for me is spent at home with family. Yeah. I would travel on a holiday at Christmas.
Same.
With us. Like, I'm planning for 2025 to be in Europe for Christmas. Yes. That's my big goal for the next few years. But I think for me, I want Amelia to grow up in a really stable Christmas. So it's not between people, that it's, you know, it's just about
just
family.
Wholesome and being,
we don't necessarily have any major traditions, but it's about being together and about, you know, enjoying. And I laughed this year because it was just us and Cam's parents, and I was like, it's like we're having our Sunday dinner that we have every week at lunchtime.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we had a roast like we do a lot of Sundays, and it was just that we had Christmas bonbons and we had dessert that we might not have normally have had.
And separating it from any other day. And that's the thing that I kind of struggle with, is I'm like, these are the people we see all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and so what's making Christmas really special? And that was the same as me growing up. It was like we'd open our presents at home and then go to my old and everyone would like fight, and it was like big Dutch people arguing over everything. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, we do this on the weekends. So what makes Christmas any different? Like, so I definitely want to find ways to make it really special.
Catching up with like Cam's brother, we catch up at in the Gambie at the like lake there, or at the reserve, whatever the weird thing is. And we do Christmas there. We all bring food. Nice. Like this year we did barbecue. The kids play, the boys play. We like have laugh. Like, we just spend the whole day there, and then, you know, come home. And
that's lovely.
Like, for us, it's sort of halfway between where they live and where we live, and it makes it. It doesn't have to be on Christmas Day because you know. It's not always easy to travel,
but it's a nice excuse to do something like that.
Yeah, and it's out, and the kids, you know, not in the house. There's kids aren't on their devices. They're not fighting over toys. Like, it's just, I love it. I don't know. I think you just got to do what's right for your family, and when you have a child, it changes.
It does, yeah,
because you're happy to, like, travel when you're single.
Well, you're happy to please
whatever.
everybody else when you haven't got a kid. But when you've got a kid, you want to please them and you want to please yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it.
Do you have any career goals for this year? What about, okay, let's not worry.
We gain employment.
Yeah. What about, like, for the podcast?
I think for the podcast,
Consistency,
yes, but then also, like, a bit more focus. Like, I don't want the distractions of, like, influencing to kind of take priority over, like, creating really good podcast content.
Because at the end of the day, that's what we are, podcasters.
Exactly. And I really don't have the time or the energy. And, like, I think I've been going through some things, like, mentally and about, like, learning a bit more about myself. And I know what I have room for and what I don't have room for. And, like, really trying to stay focused on my priorities. And I think the podcast is definitely a priority for me. But a lot of the things that come with podcasting are quite challenging for me. So I think, I absolutely love the content that we've got planned for the year. And I think I can't wait for our live. Like, it's going to be crazy.
The live, I have these, like, little moments of dying inside about why are we doing this to ourselves? This is the dumbest thing. I hate talking in front of people.
Oh, my God.
But then I'm also like, but I fucking love this podcast.
Yeah.
And I could stand in front of a room full of people who paid to come and watch us because they love listening to us. And I think over this break, the 2 months that we've had off, I've literally not done any podcasting stuff. So I didn't check out emails. I didn't look at our stats.
Yeah.
I did a bit of Instagram stuff, but not a huge amount. And then, like, I looked at it, yesterday I went in and cleared our inbox for so sorry if we didn't reply to anyone that emailed. We've read it. We loved it. Thank you. But, like, I had no brain space to reply to anybody.
And I can't get in our emails without Kelly, like, authenticating me. So
it's so painful. Oh. But I did look at our stats this morning for the first time, and we've just had such consistent numbers of people still listening to our episodes, even though we haven't put anything out since November.
So either all of you are really behind.
Well, I think there's a lot of new people as well. And
exciting.
I really love that you guys are still listening. And I look at my podcast, the way I listen to podcasts, and, like, I missed because everyone took a break.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck am I going to listen to? And I went back and listened to some old episodes of things, and I thought, I wonder if that's what people are doing to us. And I want to thank everyone, because the consistent numbers of you, like, we've still having hundreds of listens a day, and we've not put anything out. And that just reinforces to me that we're going to keep going this year. Like,
absolutely.
I was sort of tossing up whether it was something I wanted to keep doing or not, because I really want to do a bit of study as well, and I can't fit all of it in. But I think this year will be podcast. Next year might be study, and we'll just worry about it then. But the live show is...
What do you want to study?
I want to do, like, a post-grad in oncology.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
You go, babe.
Oh, God.
I want to do my grad cert in education, but I can't be bothered.
I know.
And then I also think...
Just have a baby first.
Well, that's exactly.
One thing at a time. One major event in your life at a time.
You're right. But yeah, as you can probably tell, we're pretty excited for the year ahead. I think, like, honestly, I have new episode ideas every fucking day.
Oh,
I'm so excited at the moment. And I'm so excited for the Nurses
Can you write them down? Because shit.
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
I think there's one ticket left for our live show, and that's because a-holes didn't buy the tickets close together. So there's one rando seat in the middle of a row.
If you want to come with a friend, we'll find an extra seat. Just D-mail.
Yeah, but you'll have to sit separately.
No, you won't. We'll just put them together at the end.
That's true.
We'll just move shit around. It's fine.
If
you want to come, I know there's only one ticket, but message us, email us. We'll find you an extra seat.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're super excited to meet everybody that's coming. We're going to have such a good year.
Actually, I need to tell you something.
Oh, God.
So I take student orientation now, right? And... that's actually not the point of the story. The point of the story was I was doing education to the theatre staff who are going to be taking a student, and we were talking about, like, what makes a good preceptor. And I was like, well, you'd introduce yourself to your students, wouldn't you? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, and you should introduce them to the other people in the unit that they're going to be working with and to the patients and that sort of thing. And then I was like, because in oncology, there was a grad who went to oncology and was like talking with Kelly about patients and about, you know, the way that processes work. And the grad turned around and went, you know a lot for a ward clerk. Little did she know she was talking to the nurse unit manager. They all lost it. They were like, oh my God, how could she not know?
That was so funny.
And
do you know why? Because the only time she saw me was when I was coming out to the printer.
So you've become like the cautionary tale to the theatre nurses now.
Oh, that's so funny.
Anyway.
I love that. Anyway, tell your friends about us.
I told one of my students and now I think she's addicted. Shout out to Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
Yeah. Name drop us to your students.
Tell all your friends.
Mate, everybody, just anyone that wants to listen to the checkout chick.
I mean, only if you think they're going to enjoy it.
Nah.
Or even
let
if you
them
think,
decide.
Yeah, you're right. Let them
Tell
decide.
them to listen. Let them decide.
Give them your favourite episode.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to start this year with everyone's favourite episodes.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Nurses Who Kill.
Bum, bum, bum.
So about next week. Anyway. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.